There's a reason compliments from older men don't sound like noise. They're not louder. They're not flashier. They're not trying to impress. They land heavier. Because when a man has lived, when he's felt disappointment, loss, growth, and restraint, his words don't come from hunger. They come from recognition. And women feel that difference instantly. Any woman can enjoy kind words, but when those words come from a man who is grounded, calm, and self-contained, they don't feel like flattery. They feel like truth. And truth settles differently in the nervous system. Today, I want to break down 8 compliments women genuinely love hearing from older men. And more importantly, why these compliments work on a deep psychological level. These are not lines. They're not tactics. They're not designed to get a reaction. They're observations, and that distinction changes everything. Most men misunderstand what a compliment is supposed to do. They think a compliment is a tool, a lever, something you say to create attraction, trigger interest, or get validation back. That's where it fails. Because the moment a compliment is used to get something, it loses its power. Women are extremely sensitive to intention. They don't just hear the words, they feel where the words are coming from. If a compliment comes from need, it feels light. If it comes from awareness, it feels heavy. Older men succeed with compliments not because they're smoother, but because they're not trying. Keep that in mind as we go through this list. 1. I appreciate how comfortable you are with yourself. This compliment doesn't flatter her. It reassures her. Most women grow up under constant observation, by society, by men, by social media, and often by themselves. They're evaluated, compared, ranked, and subtly pressured to perform. So when a man notices comfort rather than appearance, something inside her relaxes. She doesn't feel measured. She doesn't feel judged. She doesn't feel like she has to earn approval. She feels accepted. And acceptance creates trust. Older men say this naturally because they've learned something younger men haven't yet. Confidence isn't loud, and comfort is rare. This compliment tells her, I'm not here to reshape you. I see you as you are. That's grounding. 2. You have a calm presence. It's refreshing. Calm is rare. In a world addicted to urgency, drama, stimulation, and emotional volatility, calm feels like oxygen. When an older man recognizes a woman's calm presence, he's not reacting to excitement. He's responding to being. That matters because it signals emotional regulation. It tells her you're not feeding on chaos. You're not chasing intensity to feel alive. Many women crave this quietly. They've been surrounded by men who confuse passion with instability, who think emotional spikes equal attraction. Calm doesn't spike the nervous system. It settles it. And settled systems feel safe, which is where deeper attraction forms. 3. I enjoy the way you think. This compliment goes straight to identity. It tells her you're listening, not waiting to speak, not scanning for approval, not performing interest. You're genuinely curious. Older men deliver this differently because they're not trying to impress with intelligence. They're not competing. They're observing. Being seen intellectually is far more intimate than being admired physically. Because physical admiration feels common, mental recognition feels rare. This compliment tells her, I see your mind, not just your surface. That creates connection, not excitement. And connection is what lasts. 4. You don't try too hard. And that's attractive. This one disarms. Many women live under pressure to be interesting, engaging, charming, emotionally present. They often feel responsible for carrying the emotional tone of an interaction. When a man notices effortlessness, something drops. She doesn't need to perform. She doesn't need to impress. She doesn't need to manage your experience. Attraction grows where tension disappears. Older men recognize effortlessness because they've learned how exhausting overeffort is. This compliment creates relief, and relief is underrated, but powerful. At this point, something should be clear. None of these compliments are about appearance. That's not accidental. Women don't want to be evaluated. They want to be understood. 5. You have depth. Not everyone does. Depth implies layers, experience, emotional range, inner substance. When an older man says this, it carries weight because he's seen shallowness before. He knows the difference. This compliment makes her feel chosen for who she is, not idealized for how she looks or performs. It tells her, I see past the surface, and I value what's underneath. That feels rare, and rarity creates significance. 6. I respect the way you handle yourself. Respect is more powerful than praise. Praise places someone above or below you. Respect places them beside you. This compliment communicates maturity. It says you're not trying to dominate. You're not trying to impress. You're acknowledging autonomy. Respect builds attraction quietly, not through excitement, but through stability. And stability is what makes women stay. 7. You don't need to prove anything. That shows confidence. Many women feel they have to justify themselves, their boundaries, their choices, their pace. When a man recognizes quiet confidence, it creates relief. She doesn't feel interrogated. She doesn't feel examined. She feels trusted. Confidence that doesn't seek validation is deeply attractive because it mirrors emotional strength. Older men recognize this because they've learned that confidence doesn't announce itself. It simply exists. 8. I enjoy being around you. It feels easy. This may be the most powerful compliment on the list. Ease means no pressure, no performance, no emotional labor. It tells her she adds comfort to your life, not complication. And comfort is what makes people want to stay. Desire might start with tension, but it lasts through ease. Older men understand this balance, warning the mistake most men make. Here, where many men sabotage themselves, they use compliments as currency. They give them hopping for approval, attention, validation, reciprocation. The moment a compliment asks for something in return, it loses weight. Older men succeed because they're not bargaining. They're observing, and women feel that difference immediately. Brain final insight. If this video felt different, it's because it wasn't about doing more. It was about seeing more. Older men don't attract by impressing. They attract by perceiving, and perception is calming. If this resonated, comment below which of these compliments feels the most natural for you to say. And if you want deeper insights into female psychology, attraction, and mature masculinity, subscribe. We explore what actually works, not because it's clever, but because it's true. I'll see you very soon.